Hi, fellow traders. Tonight, I want to issue a Sure Trader warning. Now, a couple of months ago, I put out a video on how to trade with Sure Trader or any other of these brokers that cater to those who can't meet the PDT minimum. Most of these brokers are offshore. They all have their different quirks, their different idiosyncrasies, things that we have to work around in order to be successful. But you guys know I've been using Sure Trader since 2014. That's what I started with. I use it to trade live in chat so that you guys can see and I can prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that you can make money and grow your account using a broker like Sure Trader. It's just a matter of choosing the right stocks, having the right strategy, understanding the rules, and being able to work around all of these fees and stuff that they have. So it doesn't matter who you trade with. They're all equally a pain in the ass to deal with. But if this is all you have, if this is the only place you have to start that's going to allow you to get into the market, then you got to learn how to use it and use it correctly so that it doesn't, suck you dry. And believe me, if you don't use it correctly, it will suck you dry. So in that video, and I'll put a link to it in the description of this video so you can go to it. If you haven't seen it, you can go to it. If you've seen it and it's been a while, you may want to go back and watch it to refresh your memory. But the very first rule that I had was do not hold positions overnight. Do not even think about swing trading. You do not need a broker like Sure Trader or CME Group or TradeNet or anybody like that if you want to focus on swing trading. Okay, you don't need that. You don't have to worry about PDT if you're going to be a swing trader. So Sure Trader is specifically for people that want to day trade and get around that pattern day trader rule that we have here in the US. So it's not designed to hold positions overnight. Why? Glad you asked that question. Okay, here, one of my members sent me this earlier today. He was irate. And of course, I sent him back to the video to watch this. And I explained the same thing in the video. Okay, he traded Apple and BA intraday. Don't know what he was trading out. Well, we weren't even looking at Apple yesterday, I don't think. But he traded Apple. We were watching BA all day. Did really good. Made some good money on BA. More than I did. That's for damn sure. But CLDR, this was the trade that we were looking at for earnings. So I got in it, and it didn't work, and I took it off. We saw that in the recap yesterday. Well, evidently, he chased us down. It dipped down to 1180. He got in at 12. So 1180 was the low that it just dipped to. He got in at 12 as it was bouncing back up, and it never looked back. Well, he held it overnight. Now, he was well within his overnight limit. Of course, you can only go 2 to 1. You can only use 2 to 1 margin overnight. So he had $4,000 in his account. So that would give him, just over $8,000 in overnight buying power. So he was well under that. You can see this position only cost him $6,000. And, so at the end of the day, for some reason, SureTrader adds this. They take it from unrealized P&L, which is where it should be, and they tack it on to your true P&L. So at the end of the day, it looks like you lost $1,187.40. And what they do with this is they subtract this from your equity. Now this position is still open, but they closed it on paper and took it out of your equity. None of the brokers that I work with do this. Okay, so this is one of the main reasons why you do not want to hold a position overnight or even think about swing trading. Because here's what happens. And those of you guys that swing trade, you probably know what I'm talking about. If you go back and look at your position, you know, a couple hours after the market closes. Because if you go and log on to your platform, you could be down $10,000, $25,000 because all of the bids got pulled. And so you may have a price on the ask, all of the bids got pulled. There's this huge spread and it shows that you're down. You're not actually down because the market's closed. There's nobody trading. All of the bids have been pulled. But for some reason, they don't understand that. And so wherever it is, God help you if the bids get pulled and you end up down $12,000 and you only have $3,000 in your account. The problem is the next morning when the market opens and these bids come back and your account goes back, you know, your unrealized P&L goes back to normal where it should be, your account screwed for the day. Because if it takes your account negative, you will not be able to trade anything. Or in this case, it took $1,187.40 out of his equity that he couldn't even trade. You know, which, you know, is wrong. So here is the breakdown here. Now he did make a deposit yesterday of $500, a credit card deposit, which I tell you, you know, don't be in such a hurry to do credit card deposits. You can wait 2 to 3 days for a bank wire that, you know, won't cost you anything. But, you know, just, I don't know. That's a story for another day. But he deposited $500. But here's the margin interest. This isn't bad. You know, 82 cents a day, that's nothing really. But they did a margin call on the dude. $25 margin call. Now, when he got in the trade, he got in it after the market closed. Obviously, after the market closed, the platform will not allow you to use any more buying power than what your overnight buying power is. Okay, it's already reset. Your buying power is down to your overnight. So he was well within it. He had $4,000 in there before this deposit. When this deposit came in, I think he had $4,500 plus whatever he made, a little over $100, like $4,600, $4,700 in the account. A whole lot more than he needed for, you know, to hold his position without incurring a margin call. But what these idiots did was at the close of at midnight, whatever this was at midnight, this is what they took out of his account. And once all that's done, then they come in and say, oh, he's under, you know, he's over his 2-to-1 margin. So we're going to hit him with another $25 margin call. Complete BS. You know, complete BS. And I tried to get them to explain it to me back when I was doing the first video, and nobody there could tell me anything. other than, this is just how they figure it. But here you can look at the equity change. Okay, he started the day out $4,030.68. He deposited the 500, $17.50 is the fee. So he ended up with $45.30.68. Then whatever he made off of this, and then they subtracted $11.87 from that total, and he ended up with, they subtracted $11.87.40 from $45.30.68 plus this. So it ended up, because he made this deposit, he only lost $713.22. They're saying, so his equity got reduced by $713.22. It's actually this $11.87.40 minus the 500, and that's how they come up with this. Stupid. Oh, I forgot about this. Then they subtracted this from it too. So you gotta subtract the 43.32 as well. This is why you don't want to hold overnight. You don't want to swing trade with short trade. You can have yourself messed up the next day to where in some cases you can't even trade. Now he was able to trade, I think, today, because he did have 33.17 equity. This trade came back and he actually closed it, for a win. So, even though it was down yesterday when it closed, he still, it was a win. But his account was messed up all day. They told him it wouldn't fix until midnight tonight, which is stupid. And here's something else that I don't even understand how this came into play. Because at no point did he ever have $10,000 in his account. He started the day out with $4,000 and only added $500 to it from a deposit. And so it doesn't really make sense. But here, no reason to have any type margin call. And you can see how they reduced his overnight buying power. After they killed all of this, they reduced it. So it was just crazy. It's inexplicable. So the best thing to do not hold overnight. Do not. All right, so real quick, this is the earnings trade we were looking at today, and we went over this live in chat starting at 3 o'clock. The videos, if it's not posted yet, it should be posted. And it started at 3 until we kind of shut it down. But we talked about, this was the one that I was really looking hard at. And we went through, we came up with, my thesis as to what was going to happen based on the numbers we crunched, the reports that we read. And I said it looked like the guidance was going to be weak going into the next earnings. I was looking for a gap down. Based on the daily chart and everything else, I was looking at a gap down. So the last piece of the puzzle we were looking at was, is the intraday chart going to verify or trade the way I want it to trade so that I'll have a little bit better conviction that it's going to do what I want it to do. You see, intraday charts, and we talked about this before in the class too. The intraday chart, I'm looking at for it to trade a specific way. if it looks like algos had it all day and it didn't really do anything, and it doesn't make the move coming into close that I want to see, I'm not touching it. And that's exactly what happened here. And if you remember, in one of the reports we read, it talked about how balanced the options trades were. The puts and the calls were balanced. So, you had people in the options that had no clue as to where this was going. There was no, tilt one side to the other. Plus, this was a stock that's affected worldwide. So, it just kind of made it to where, hey, if it doesn't trade the way I want it to, then I'm not getting it. And you can see how crazy it traded. It never really picked a spot. It was just all over the place. And finally, after the conference call started, we had another little spike here, and then we got the big sell-off. This is what we were looking for over here. But everything that happened during the day told me to stay the hell out. And this could have easily stopped me out, or had me take it off, because it wasn't doing anything. It wasn't doing what I was looking for it to do. But we are going to do more of these. I really feel that the best way to learn is to go through it just like this. I'm going to implement this into the opening range trades and the trend continuation. We're going to do it more like this. Like I said, I always want the chat room to be more focused on education versus just calling out trades and stuff like that. I want it to be, actually learning how to execute these strategies. So we're going to be more focused on the execution component. What you're going to need to do in order to execute these things properly. And we're going to be getting into that deeper. The roadmap series, everybody should have been through the exercise that did it. We get back on the roadmap series this coming Wednesday. And, we're going to be focusing on, execution still. That's the first skill that you have to develop. And along with execution comes patience and discipline. All of that stuff is a package. So once you get it down, your earning potential is limitless. So that's going to do it for me tonight, guys. Hopefully you got something out of this. But we will see you in the morning. See if we can end this week on a good note.